Hola! This is Kathleen Evans, International Living's Costa Rica correspondent. Thanks for joining me today, where we're going to talk about traditions and culture in Costa Rica. And I'd like to start with food. Why not? Everybody loves food, right? So Costa Rica isn't deep in the foodie roots like other countries. You know, for example, we're making Italian food tonight, or we're going out for Thai food. You don't really hear people going out for Costa Rican food. However, that doesn't mean the food here isn't amazing. It's very fresh and abundant. If you think about it, how many tropical fruits are available in this country, and vegetables. We have boundless seafood because we have the Caribbean coast, we have the Pacific coast, and we have fresh lakes and rivers. We also have a great beef growing culture here, as well as some of our own rice is even produced in Costa Rica. So when you talk about food in Costa Rica, there is a great tradition called La Feria, or basically a farmer's market. And you find these ferias all across Costa Rica, in the big cities, in the villages, in the towns, and they happen weekly. And it's a great opportunity for farmers to bring farm-to-market fresh produce to the people in town. And it's a great social opportunity too. So it's not just a produce market. You'll find, especially in the coastal areas, you'll find catch of the day seafood available. You'll find spices for sale, coffee, sausage, baked goods, arts and crafts, and some of them even have snack booths where you can stop and get little snacks and enjoy time with the other people in your community. So, another tradition is sodas. And you may have heard this term before. These are small, family-owned restaurants, and you find them all over Costa Rica. Roadsides, touristy places, and they're absolutely fantastic. They're cheap. Sometimes in some of the villages you could get 2 meals and a drink for $10. And there's 2 typical plates that you'll find at sodas. One of them is called the casado plate. And casado in Costa Rica means married. Now, we're not exactly sure where the name came from. Some theories are that it's all of the different food groups married on a plate. And then it's also, well, the working man who's away from home. We've made a casado plate for the married man who's working far from home. And what consists on this plate is typically a protein. So you will see either fish, chicken, in some places pork, or beef. And then you've got rice, beans, typically a small salad that might just be lettuce and tomato, plantains, and a tortilla. Very healthy and very filling as well. Now, another dish that's common, and you'll find them at every soda, is arroz con pollo, or arroz con camarones, which is basically rice with chicken or rice with shrimp. But no, it's not just rice and chicken thrown on it. It is actually a lengthy process to make these, because you've got tomato, onion, carrot, bell pepper, garlic, sometimes celery is used in it, and various other spices. So it's very filling. Typically it comes kind of in a cone on the plate, along with papas fritas or French fries. Now, another thing to note, even though Costa Rican isn't totally a foodie scene, there are chefs from all around the world who have come here, and they're fusing their country's local flavors along with the food that's abundant here in Costa Rica. And you're seeing lots of new trendy food places that are popping up in normal times in and around the capital and other popular tourist places here. Now, another note about food in Costa Rica. On the Caribbean side, you've got more of an Afro-Caribbean style of cooking. So there they utilize hot chili peppers and coconut milk, things that you'd find typically more on the Caribbean islands. So that gives a whole different flair to Costa Rican food as well. Now, as far as art and culture in Costa Rica, it's something you don't really think about initially, right? It's fantastic in its natural beauty, the endless beaches, the dynamic waterfalls, the volcanoes, but not quite the unique culture, for example, as the Mayans or the Aztecs regionally in Central and South America. So you don't see a lot of native arts. However, there are some notable exceptions of these traditions that have been passed down through the centuries. First one of note is pottery of the Nicoya Peninsula. Now, this pottery is painstakingly made with earthenware powder mixed with a special sand and water and formed on a pottery wheel or with tools. Now, ceramics of Santa Ana are another notable art form here, and there are dozens and dozens of family-owned workshops in the area. Now, Santa Ana is located just west of San Jose, so it's suburban San Jose, and it makes for a great day trip to visit these different galleries and see the colorful ceramics of Costa Rica. Now, also, there are balsa-carved masks, and these are made by the indigenous Boruca Indians. Now, these colorful masks, the history of them is interesting. They were donned by the indigenous people here to scare off the Spanish conquistadors. So, what you'll find is some of them are kind of scary, but some of them now are quite beautiful and intricate and painted all kinds of beautiful colors. They make a great souvenir, and you'll see a lot of people who actually have collections of them on their walls here. Now, the last art form of note that I wanted to share with you are the colorful painted oxcarts and the furniture makers of Sarchí. Now, Sarchí is a town located in the Central Valley, about 20 minutes from Gracia. And ox carts have a long history in Costa Rica because they were used to bring the crops to the markets and actually to ports for export. So when you go there, you'll see the workshops dotting the main road, okay? And you can see artists actually painting these very, very intricate ox cart wheels and actual ox carts. So it's pretty amazing to see. And with all of the native wood in Costa Rica, you'll find quite a few furniture makers there as well, making gorgeous pieces of furniture. And you'll find that a lot of people actually go to Sarchí to find very beautiful family heirloom type furniture for very affordable prices. And it's also interesting to know that Sarchí is home of the world's largest ox cart, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, and I can attest to it because I've actually seen it in person. Now, besides art, Costa Ricans are into the arts. So the National Theater, which is in central downtown San Jose, was built, actually opened in 1897, and it's made from the neoclassical design of the great Italian and French theaters of its time. And the designers and the forefathers had experienced Europe's arts and wanted to bring that to Costa Rica in a very affordable way. So they built this magnificent theater. It's actually one of the gems of Costa Rica, and it's still open today. You can see ballet, opera, various concerts, and that sort of thing. And you'll also find smaller theaters around the country. The theater and the arts have been introduced into the Costa Rican school system, so you'll actually find several different community theaters around the country. Now also, Ticos love to dance, so you'll see huge clubs and small dance halls all around the country, mostly promoting salsa, Latin beats, and that sort of thing. But you'll also hear North American music and British music in the nightclubs and on the radio. So you'll find a little bit of everything. Now, on the Caribbean side, you've got, again, your Afro-Caribbean influence. So you're going to have calypso, rumba, and reggae. Now, it's also important to note that religion does play a part in the traditions in Costa Rica. 70% of Costa Ricans identify themselves as being Catholic. However, the church has not exerted powerful influence politically or culturally here over the ages. So religion is kind of approached as more of a casual tradition than a practice here. However, there are some main religious events. Semana Santa, or Easter week, is the time when everything closes down in the country pretty much, and everyone flocks to the beaches. So people plan their vacations around it. A lot of folks have a second home or a condominium at one of the beaches, and it becomes more of a party event and a social event than an actual religious event. You'll find parties on the beaches and concerts sponsored by various corporations and that sort of thing. And it's really a lot of fun. It's a great time to be here if you want to experience something like that. And we see a repeat very similar of that during the Christmas New Year's week, when the whole country shuts down and everybody comes to the beaches. But there are some religious processions and things that happen during Christmas week, but it's nothing as elaborate as what you see in other places in Latin America. Now, the biggest religious event that happens here in Costa Rica happens every year on August 2nd, and nearly 2 million people walk from all corners of the country in La Romarilla. This is the annual pilgrimage to the Basilica of Our Lady of the Angels in Cartago, which is located just east of San Jose. And it is in honor of the Virgin of the Angels. Now, the people walk this for kilometers, and the very last part of it, some people choose to walk or move on their knees. So it's a pretty incredible sight to see. Now, the tradition dates all the way back to 1635. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the fiestas and topes here. Now, a tope is a horse show, and Costa Rica, surprisingly to some, has a very proud cowboy history, okay? And these fiestas happen all around the country, in the big cities, in the small villages, throughout the entire year, okay? And there is a bull ring that is constructed out of wood and actually moved town to town in that region. So you'll see people working for weeks constructing these rings and then taking them down and moving them to the next place. So the rodeo events happen in the ring. There are parades with horses, the topes, and then there is a bullfight or a corrida, which is a run. Okay, so it's not a traditional bullfight that you think of in Mexico or Spain. The way it works is you've got your cowboy who does his bull riding in the ring, and then the spectators who want to participate actually come into the ring and taunt the bull. And the danger is real. You'll see ticos and gringos side by side, some of them drunk, actually running around with a very disoriented bull. So it's actually quite a sight to see, and I highly recommend visiting one of the fiestas. Now, it's not just about the horse show and the bull riding. And outside the ring, you'll find kiddie rides. You'll find all kinds of food stalls, beer tents. There's lots of great Latin music, some of it live, some of it recorded, dancing, and pretty much general debauchery, because you know what? We love to party here. So many of our other festivals are covered in the best time to visit Costa Rica video. So if you want to hear more about some of our other festivals that happen throughout the year, you can do a quick online search on YouTube for that one. Now, lastly, I want to follow up with Costa Rican slang. Now, every country in Latin America has their own slang, their own accents, their own way of pronouncing words. And Costa Rica is no exception. In fact, I have a Spanish for expats class that I attend, and we actually spent an entire class on all of the different slang terms. But I want to touch base on some of the most popular ones here. The first one being my. The word my would loosely translate to dude. Hola, my. Hi, dude. And you hear that especially among the younger people and in the surfing communities. Hola, dude, you know, that sort of thing. So that word is my, M-A-E. And then there's another word called tuanis. And that kind of would translate to cool. Yeah, that's cool. Tuanis. Great words to know if you're going to be hanging out in Costa Rica. One other one is que chiba, which would loosely translate to awesome. You know, wow, que chiba. You say these words and people are going to think you've been here for a long time. But of course, the final one that's not really slang, but it is our signature, and that's pura vida, pure life. And I thank you for enjoying this pure life and coming along with me today to explore our traditions of Costa Rica. Thank you so much. This is Kathleen Evans with International Living.